Welcome to OSG Live, where we inspire you to fall in love with your business. Get set to join your hosts, Tanya, Becky, Kylene, and Aaron for your weekly motivation. It's time to share your wins, express gratitude, and choose positive changes. Jump into the comments and share your thoughts with the rest of the OSG community. Coming up, OSG Wellness Super Tools to nourish your mind and body, small business success gems to uncover hidden gems of business excellence, and the uncommon mindset to challenge the status quo. Your journey to success and happiness starts now.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to OSG Live. I'm Tanya with Gracie B. Doodle Designs.
And I'm Kylene Montgomery. Oh, sorry.
It's all right.
I'm Kylene Montgomery with Rise, Shine, Smile.
I'm Becky Kotzer with BK Custom Tees.
And I'm Aaron Montgomery, and I'm with our success group, and we are here to inspire you guys to continue to fall in love with your business. And it's so awesome every Wednesday morning being here with the Fab Four. So, Kylene, where should we start as usual here?
Well, let's start with gratitude. So we start with gratitude because when we're in that state of gratitude, we're in a state of abundance, and we start attracting more good things to us. So we really start paying attention to all those amazing things that we have in our life to be grateful for. And we're in that positive headspace. We try to start attracting more good things, like I said, and then it kind of creates a higher vibration for you. And then you start attracting more good things, and then it affects the other people around you, and it has that ripple effect. So if we start our show with some gratitude, we start in a positive headspace. And so that's why we want to start with gratitude. So listeners, if you want to share what you're grateful for this morning, please share in the comments. I can start today. I am grateful for sleep. I slept really well last night and I feel great. So I am grateful for rest.
Excellent.
Awesome. I am grateful for so much. My birthday was Monday, so all the calls and texts and everything. And then my year anniversary from my weight loss surgery is tomorrow, and just really excited about that.
Yes, that's awesome.
Nice. Becky, what about you?
I am very grateful for my husband. He spent hours upon hours searching the internet for a tractor. And just when he was like ready to kind of buy one, and he's just like, and I'm like, it doesn't have everything you want. I'm like, just give it time, whatever. Well, all of a sudden, Wednesday night, I don't know, one of those 2 nights last week, he found one. So Friday morning we went and got it. So we are ready for snow. That does not mean we want snow. So I'm hoping that we're prepared now. It'll just kind of stay away. But I am just grateful that he is as diligent as he is for finding what we need.
Nice. That's awesome. It's awesome. It's like when we got Lewis some snow boots finally. It was the one year it didn't snow. So maybe the tractor will keep the snow away for you.
I can only hope.
Awesome. Well, we've got Michelle Wilson in with us this morning. So thanks for being here, Michelle. She says, good morning, Fab Four. And she is grateful for a flexible schedule. So that's pretty awesome.
I agree.
And Chuck joining us this morning. Good morning to the Fab Four. Chuck, what are you grateful for? And anybody else that's tuned in live, we want to hear from you guys. I am grateful for just having a little water this morning. I went without the coffee because I may or may not have spent a little bit too much time in the candy sack last night. So every time we would go, so Kylene and I actually stayed home last night and handed out candy for the first time in many years because our son was able to go out with his friends on their own this year. They're old enough to do that. And every time we'd have a trick-or-treater at the door, Kylene would go and hand out the candy, but I had to hold the dog. And so we wanted to see what the kids were dressed up as, and there happened to be a bowl of candy right there. So oh boy.
Every time Aaron was done holding the dog, he had a handful of candy.
I may have done the same, but I call that mom tax.
Mom tax.
Hey, there you go.
Well, it was fun. And Todd says, due to inflation, the dad tax is 20% this year.
Mine is only paid in chocolate.
Yeah. I love it. So yeah, I'm just grateful to have a little bit of water this morning, get the voice back, get the system leveled back out with a little too much increase in sugar. But anybody else that's tuned in live right now, we'd love to hear what you're grateful for. As Kylene said, that's our superpower, and what you what you're putting out there, what you share, that's what you attract, and that's what's going to show up for you. So I was on a mastermind call yesterday, and somebody was saying, oh, I knew you were going to call me first. And I'm like, yep, you manifested that. So
True.
All right. Well, we've got some awesome stuff for you guys this morning, and really looking forward to sharing each of these segments here. And our first segment to really kick us off is Tanya and Kylene are going to share what's in their wellness toolbox today. And so are you guys ready to dive into the toolbox here?
Absolutely.
We are, yes.
All right, here we go.
Yay,
Oh. We're back. We're back for part 2 of Affirmations.
Mhm.
I'm excited to kind of talk about this final step here with kind of how to, some important points, right, to put your affirmations together. But I thought it was important that we just do a quick recap on affirmations, kind of what they are and what they do for us. So really it's to reprogram our brain, right? To kind of release those negative beliefs that we might have, or mindsets that we want to change into a positive to help us get to our goals. So Tanya, I don't know for you, have you found that you're using affirmations differently since last week when we talked about it?
I'm more aware of them, and on the days that maybe I was too tired, which is such a cop-out to really think about it, or I'm being lazy, then my day doesn't seem to go as well. Definitely if I'm concentrating on putting those positive thoughts in, then my day goes better. I'm in a better mood, and I'm getting more done as well. So
yes, yeah, I agree. I think every time it's kind of like gratitude in a way. It's like when you are conscious and intentional about it, you kind of have that direction. So then when things show up in your life that you're working towards, your brain's prepared for it to happen for you, and you're going to take and say yes to the things that are showing up for you to get you closer to that goal.
absolutely. And just a reminder for everyone that affirmations are one of the most powerful ways to create what you want to attract in your life. They can literally change the neural pathways in your brain. So they are very, very powerful. And I used to think that it was all a bunch of hoodoo voodoo, but it really works.
It does. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you said that, because it is true. Like, I used to think I could just say them and then it would happen, but there's the other component, which is action. So you do have to believe it, so you can, like I was saying, say yes to those things when they show up and move into action. It's really powerful. So we have this really cool image that Tanya put together, and it's just kind of some things to consider when you're crafting your affirmation to really make it the most impactful and powerful affirmation that you can for yourself. There it is. Thank you. So Tanya and I are just going to walk through this with you guys. If anyone has any insight on how affirmations have worked for you, or any way that you craft them, or anything that stands out, please share in the comments. We're open to sharing that. So Tanya, do you want to get us started on our list here?
Sure. You want to start with the words I am. The words I am are the 2 most powerful words in the language. Your subconscious takes any sentence that starts with the words I am and interprets it as a command. So it's like directing you to make it happen.
Yes. Yeah, it is so powerful. I love that we are starting with that one. Using the present tense when you're saying it. So it's as if it's already happened. So then your brain is like programming itself that it's already been here. It already knows what it feels. And so when you state your affirmation, it's like it's happening now. So use the present tense.
And then the next one is, and you should be doing this in everything in your day. State it in the positive. Affirm what you want, not what you don't want. If you are positive about it, then it just comes off better and you're more apt to do it.
Yeah, I like that. And then keep it brief. So it's kind of, thinking of it as, that jingle, if you will, have a commercial or something like that, it sticks with you. So if you keep it somewhat short, it's just going to be easier for you to remember it. And again, say it over and over and over to make it happen for you.
Yeah. And the next one, be specific. If you are vague in what you want, you're not going to get what you want. Be very specific about what it is that you're trying to affirm.
Yep, I like that. And then the action word, including an ing action word. It's really essentially that verb just adds that power of invoking that you doing something that you're wanting to accomplish in your life. So I think that's a really important part of creating these affirmations.
And then you want to include at least one dynamic emotion or feeling word. So you are enjoying, you are joyfully, happily, celebrating, proudly, something to just make it that much more. So kind of, you're being specific, but you're also wanting to make it emotional too, so that it matters more.
Yeah, it's so true. And then make your affirmations for yourself, not others. So as we know, we can only control ourselves, and our dreams are in our control. We're empowered to make them happen. So if we're affirming that my son is going to come home every day and do his homework, well, I can't control him. I can influence him, but I can only control my response and what I want and the direction I'm going. So make your affirmations about yourself, not others.
And then the last one, add or something better. So you might have something in your mind, but maybe there's something, that you haven't thought of that's, even more. So leave that open to having more come your way, which I think is something I never thought about before, but is like, okay, that works. Cause we always want something better.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it kind of opens up to more coming into you, right? It's that abundance mindset that kind of comes into play there. And so yeah, be open to something even more and greater than what you even imagined could come your way. And so I think it's really powerful. So I like that. So we wanted to bring the Fab Four back to kind of discuss this a little bit greater, especially that powerful I am statement at the beginning, and then just kind of get their insight on affirmations and how powerful they can be for us in our life and just creating that life of our dreams.
All right. Well, I brought us back. I wasn't sure if you were ready for us, so I apologize if I went too soon there, Kylene.
Nope, you're good.
We were ready, right, Tanya?
You're ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So that's really awesome. I love that you guys shared all that and went through in such detail the power of affirmations. Becky, anything that stood out for you?
I agree with all of that. I have back to the Tapping Solution app. They have affirmations on there, and there's several short ones that I found, but I know there was a long one and I can't remember the name of it right at the moment. But I have not done it lately, but a few months ago, that was what I was doing when I was making supper or I was standing at the press for hours or whatever. I would put in some of those affirmations and just listen to them. So your subconscious doesn't know the difference. So having those in your ears and hearing them, whether you're actively listening to them or not, makes a difference. I believe that wholeheartedly, that those affirmations will will change the course of your day or your life if you
Mhm.
choose to listen to them. So
Yeah. I think you're so right. And like I said, change the course of your day, and those days start stacking up, and then ultimately it changes the course of your life. And so, really good. Yeah, I had a couple things that I wanted to share, based on what you guys were talking about last week, and now coming into this week too. I love that first point there, right? I am. And then Kylene talked about it too, where you can't make affirmations for others. And I think that's so important. One other thing that I've noticed too for me, and we won't get into a deep religious discussion here, but if you think about I am, that has a lot of religious connotations to it as well. And so one thing that I've noticed too is I've changed and gone not only I am, but kind of an I am that I am. So that way it does bring that action. So it used to be for my book, I am honored to have published the Fundamentals of Business Success book. But now it's, I am grateful that I am joyously celebrating the publication of the Fundamentals of Business Success book. And again, the language is going to be important to you. So whatever works for you is the right answer. There is no wrong way to, do affirmations. These guides give you the more powerful affirmations, but honestly, just focusing on things that you want, as opposed to, our human brains, we always want to focus on the negatives, right? Because that's our survival mechanism. We have to look out for the danger, and therefore we're tuned to look for the negatives. But in our current modern world, we've got no saber-toothed tigers that are going to come running into my studio here to eat me. They're not coming around the corner. I've got this house that protects me, and all that stuff. So the point being is you've got to find the language that works for you. I've just noticed for myself that adding that I am, so I am I am grateful that I am joyously, right? So it kind of takes it from putting it out there, I am grateful, to that I am. And that's where Kylene talked about that action, that I still have to actually do it. I can't just sit here and say that over and over again, and all of a sudden the book's going to happen. I still have to take the action, but it's so much more easy and friction free to take that action when I believe it's going to happen. Right. So that was the one point. You guys have any thoughts on that?
I just think that's really powerful. I never really thought about the language before, but in listening to the tapping solution and then going through this and being more aware of my affirmations every day, it does make a huge difference.
Yeah. And I liked what you said, believing. So we're believing it to achieve it, right? You're truly creating those beliefs in your subconscious. So it's easier when fear shows up, you're more prepared to work through that fear when it shows up because you believe it's possible for you. You can achieve that. So I like that. How you said that.
Yeah, it definitely diminishes the fear for sure. Again, like you said, when you believe it, the old saying is, I'll believe it once I see it. But the reality of success is it's got to be the other way around. You have to believe it, and then you will see it. So,
Yep.
Becky, anything else for you?
No, it's just amazing. It's just amazing how they work. I mean, it is believe it when you see it, but it'll show up when you start actively doing them. So
it's it is pretty interesting. And then the one other quick point that I had is, so this is part of fundamental number 3 in the book. So reignite self-trust. And that really is what this is about. We've spent so many years talking down to ourselves internally, oh, I made this mistake. Darn you, Aaron, all that kind of fun stuff. And so we have to overcome that. And it's not about manufacturing this fake ego and that kind of thing. It's about, again, that belief in yourself that you can do the hard things. As a small business owner, there are going to be hard things. It's a fact of life, right? Anything worthwhile is going to be difficult. Otherwise, everybody would do it, right? And so, that's kind of barrier to entry, right? I think that's kind of the way the universe balances things out. Is you have this these things that maybe are worthwhile. Well, there's going to be some challenges that are put in front of you to say, do you really want this, right? And you can choose to say nope and just go back to chilling on the couch, right? But when you wake up 6 months later and you've been chilling on the couch, your body feels terrible, you're in the same spot, you're kind of feeling like you're just running the rat race. Guess what? It was that decision in that moment that caused that. So I think this whole concept of reuniting self-trust is so powerful. And the affirmations kind of seal it, because it's you're replacing limiting beliefs is what you're doing over and over. So so any other thoughts on that, you guys?
To me, it also goes back to that self-talk. Something happens and you're like, oh, I'm so dumb. And all I can hear is Tanya going, you can't talk about my best friend like that. And then, the perspective of it is how, you just you said it to yourself and you don't think about how that sounds, but you would never say that to the other person.
Yeah.
So when you start looking, you don't want to say you look at yourself in third person, but if you start looking at yourself in how you actually talk to yourself inside your brain, whether you say it out loud or not, that all affects, because back to what I said before, the subconscious doesn't know the difference on whether you said it out loud or you didn't say it out loud. It heard it. So if I continuously say, geez, I'm dumb, or I can't do this, well, what's my subconscious going to do? It's going to say, I'm dumb and I can't do this. So if you start working on it that way, and those affirmations, especially with the I am, or like Erin has that I am, that will make a world of difference.
Yeah. I think it's,
and she does listen to me.
I'm on camera. You should think I do.
Yeah. That's recorded now, Tanya. You've got that. New tool in the toolbox there. All right. We got a comment from there we go. Michelle says, helps change the ugly talk to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, good way to put it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about, these are things that you can choose to do. So Tanya, lead us in here to what we're going to hear about here real quick.
Sorry.
You're fine. I threw that at you. Random.
Choose boards and other affirmation things are going to be available in my Choose store, and I'll be adding some more soon. And I haven't added the mini ones yet, but the mini ones will be on there hopefully by the end of the day today.
Okay.
Ooh, very cool.
Is that a commitment, Tanya?
It is. I will put it on my list right now.
Look at you. What a rock star. All right. Well, let's hear a really quick word about the Choose store and ICE, and then we'll come back and get into gems after that.
Choose boards and other affirmation products are excellent tools to move you forward. Check out the ICE Choose web store to get yours. Choose what you need as often as you need it.
Awesome. There you go. Choose what you need as often as you. That's awesome. I love that line.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, if you want to go directly there, you can go to osg.link/ICE. So make sure you get over there. I've got to dig my Choose board out here. I haven't written on it this morning, so good reminder. All right. Becky, are you ready to bring us some small business success gems here?
I am.
All right, here we go.
Good morning, OSG squad. Welcome to SBS Gems. So this morning, we are going to talk about masterminds. I don't know if any of our listeners are actively currently part of a mastermind group, or if you've been one in the past. If you guys could let me know, I'd like to know who's already enjoying the benefits of a mastermind group. I had never heard of a mastermind group until earlier this year. And I had been part of a networking group. And there is a big difference between a networking group and a mastermind. So the networking group was awesome. There was, 30 to 50 women on this call. And we would we'd go out to a breakout room on the Zoom call and have, 4 to 6 people in there, and be able to, network a little bit. You were there to pretty much advertise your business. we usually ended up with a different set of people each time. So which is good for your business if you're trying to network and sell your product, but it wasn't fulfilling what I needed that I didn't know I needed. And Kylene so very gently had been talking about mastermind groups and the Masters of Success with OSG. She'd spent several months gently talking to me and telling me that this is something you should do. And it's like, of course, in my very much stubborn way, took several months of being gently pushed. And boy, when I joined, did life change. So our mastermind group through Masters of Success with OSG is a small group. There's 4 to 6 of us in a group, and they are constant. It's the same people that come every 2 weeks. Erin's notation of the rising tide lifts all boats is so true in this mastermind group. We're there to, you show up every 2 weeks and you have the same people there that are there to support you. The Masters of Success has given me the better understanding of my business. It's given me a sense of belonging. And most importantly, it gives me accountability. I'm able to set both short-term and long-term goals for myself and my business and know that mastermind group is there to support me. The other thing that has truly amazed me, because I am now part of 2 mastermind groups currently, and even when I don't feel like I have anything to bring to the group that week, and I mean, maybe things are kind of on a smooth course, everybody else that has things going on that week and we discuss them, there's always something that I can take out of that meeting. Never have I ever left a meeting that I haven't had something that I have been able to have a takeaway for that week. So even if you are a brand new business or you're a seasoned veteran in your business, I don't want you to think that a mastermind group is not for you. I mean, as a newbie, you have that new mindset. I like to call it my simplistic mindset, because sometimes I feel like I'm pretty simple when I look at things. And yet that mindset compared to somebody that's in their business looking at things and is overthinking it needs to have that different viewpoint to look at. I see Michelle has a comment here. She says, oops, what happened to it? I had heard of my masterminds, but had the fear of joins. I'm so glad that I joined Masters of Success. Michelle, we are so glad to have you also. She is in one of them with us here. So mine is really short today. And you will hear this from me again, because I'm extremely passionate about the masterminds and collaboration. They have been such a support for my business to working with clarifying the reason, which is a whole nother topic that Erin has touched on, and we will definitely be bringing in for more information, but clarifying that reason and bringing my business forward and having that support of the mastermind group to have the check-ins and keep us accountable for what we say we're going to do. Kind of like Tanya saying she's going to get the choose boards out there. That's one of those things that, once we've said that, we know other people are expecting us to do those, and you don't want to let them down. So it just kind of keeps you on track. And truly, I want to stress and state that everybody can get something out of a mastermind group. Everybody has something to offer, even more so to a mastermind group. So I want you to make sure that you reach out to, Erin or Tanya or Kylene or myself, or you can check out oursuccessgroup.com/MOS. So again, the passion is there for this. And so you will be hearing from me again on this. There's so much more that we can discuss with it. And for sure, you need to check out Erin's book for it and get all of the nuts and bolts that comes with a mastermind. Or if you're ever interested in, creating your own mastermind, we are there to support that also. I'm going to bring the Fab Four back up for just a moment. So we have a couple minutes to get a couple take on everybody else that is in the mastermind group too, and see what they have to say.
Well, there's a lot that I would like to say. I was making little notes as you were going along. And it was just, for me personally, when I first started, I was new. When was this, Aaron? 3 years ago when you first started the first one?
Yep.
I was new to this industry. And so I was like, I was feeling like I didn't belong. I'm like, was very uncomfortable. Like, what do I have to contribute? I can't help these people in their business. I'm just starting out. But really what I found is, like you said, we all have different skills that we bring in there. We all have different ways of supporting each other that just lift each other up. Sometimes that fresh perspective from someone in the group can really just ignite that idea and just get you going, and that motive, to take that next step and whatever it is you're trying to achieve. The other part is you develop a trust with these people. I know I have in our mastermind group, that when they give you that feedback that maybe isn't what you want to hear, right? Maybe it's not, oh, it's okay. Maybe it's like, hey, I see it's coming up, maybe it's time to dig a little bit deeper and continue to move forward. I do personally appreciate that. It's, again, I do get the support and the kindness, but sometimes you need someone to point out some things that maybe you're not ready to admit yet. And that helps you grow and continue to move forward.
Another benefit is by giving that feedback, I almost always learn something that I can apply to myself. So I'm really good at giving advice.
Yeah.
But I don't always see it for myself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's really powerful there, Tanya, because typically this is the other thing to remember if you're participating in a mastermind, like, your perspective that you're going to share back to that thing is probably also has a lot to do with you and what you're thinking about too. So how do you implement that into your own business? I just was working with a mastermind group yesterday, and we talked about the fact that some of the most valuable insights you're going to take away from these opportunities to mastermind together might not even be you talking or people giving feedback to you. But I think you said that, Becky, that kind of what you hear in other conversations that can be so incredibly powerful for people. I'm going to make a bold statement here. I really don't think you can be ultimately successful without some sort of a mastermind. Now, it doesn't, I'm not saying it has to be Masters of Success or something like that, but without a trusted group of people around you like that are, like Kylene said, are willing to tell you, hey, let's give you a little kick in the butt because it's coming from a place of love and trust. And, all too often we go out into the Facebook groups and ask all these questions and then we get all this feedback, but there's no context there, right? When you're part of a mastermind group, so we, with Masters of Success, require a minimum of 3-month commitment because we know it takes a little bit to build that up. You're not going to solve all the world's problems in the first couple calls, but after 3 or 4 times together, this level of trust starts happening, and you can just, like, what I've been most excited about is just kind of watching people blossom after that 3rd or 4th call. Michelle's a great example of this. I know she mentioned, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And then her other, her other comment before that Becky had mentioned there was, I had a fear of joining one, and her and I had a great conversation about that. And I'm like, you're going to be incredible at this. And lo and behold, she's a fantastic part of the mastermind group. And so anyhow, thank you for sharing that, Becky.
Having that mastermind group is like having your own business advisory board. You get to have this group that you can take things to that are objective and are not emotionally attached to your business. So they can give you a perspective that you can't give yourself. So I think that's been huge for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's also this, sorry to interrupt, but I think there's also this other side that sometimes keeps people away from which is a scarcity mindset, right? I have to keep everything to myself. And, for example, Masters of Success, you guys all do a lot of similar things, right? The groups that I was working with yesterday, they're all wreath makers and very much doing the very, very similar things. They're on Etsy, that kind of thing. And it's if you have that scarcity mindset, you're definitely not going to get anything out of it. But if you're willing to play full out and have an abundance mentality, I could have somebody right next door doing the exact same thing as I'm doing, exact same tools, exact same everything, but yet we're going to be completely different businesses because me and that person next door are completely different people. Just the way that it goes. So I think that's really important too.
Collaboration is key, though.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Doing the ICE thing, inspire, collaborate, and encourage. You get far more out of life when you can help each other out and not have that scarcity mindset.
Yeah. Well, and here's the other thing that I'm noticing is that the ripple effect does occur, right? So we've got people that, you guys here, right? I mean, my vision for all of this is that, okay, part of Masters of Success, but I see there's going to be an ICE group. There's going to be a DK group that, Kylene is already thinking about what she's doing with her communities and things like that. And so that ripple effect too, can lead us out there. And like Becky said, that there's, having multiple groups that you're in, you just getting more perspective. So it's pretty powerful. So, all right.
The other thing I want to quick state is, the other mastermind group that I'm in, there is a gal in there that she stated she had done a mastermind group for a year, I think it was, and it was strictly for herself, for cleaning her house and, staying on task for her self-care part. And so don't think that you can't join a mastermind group because of a business aspect. I mean, if there is something else in your life that you truly need to have that support for, it can be there for that. So thank you guys for your insight. I am always quick about it and love getting your guys' insight on it also. We are going to show a quick promo for Erin's book. If you haven't checked it out yet, you definitely should. And I highly recommend it.
Hi, I'm Lewis Montgomery. I want to tell you all about my dad's new book, The Fundamentals of Business Success. He wrote it to help small business owners like you fall in love with your business.
Hey, thank you, Lewis. Yes, that's right. I was just tired of watching these small businesses be overwhelmed, just struggling and ultimately underpaid because they just didn't have a strong foundation to build off of. They were trying to create their business the way somebody else created their business, and they were never going to catch up.
It's not just about making money. It's about having fun and building something you're truly passionate about. My dad's new book breaks down everything into a 13-step cycle with plenty of practical applications so you can start taking action right away. Grab your copy at OurSuccessGroup.com/FBS book. Whether you're just starting out or looking to spice things up in your current business, this book will become your guide. Don't miss out on your chance to get this book at the introductory price, only available at OurSuccessGroup.com/FBS book.
Thank you, Lewis. That was fantastic. Yeah, and it's getting real. We're darn close to actually getting it. So, been kind of floating these out here. So those that have pre-ordered already. Yeah, and I mainly want to thank everybody that's pre-ordered already. It's been fantastic, the feedback and everybody kind of that support. So I'm excited to get everything out there in that full paperback version. Just a couple more hurdles to cross, and we're there. So it's getting real. All right. Well, shall we have a little uncommon mindset here?
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Here we go. All right. Well, Welcome to the Uncommon Mindset. Originally, the goal for this integrity was to wrap that conversation up in 2 weeks, but we covered a lot of ground, and I felt like we needed to go a little bit deeper into the practical applications of this. And so I had a few things that we quickly hit last week at the end, but I want to go a little bit deeper. And what I know to be true is by going deeper, by asking that one more question, by finding a little bit more clarity, that really is what the trick is to allow us to really fully cultivate things like an uncommon mindset into our lives, into our business. And so the mindset of living and working from a place of being proud to have integrity, both internal and external, is kind of what I want to bring here to the table. And so first, though, anybody that's tuned in live right now, let's see, we've got some comments in here. There we go. Michelle says, I love how Lewis is such a young businessman. He's going to achieve so much as he gets older. Thanks for saying that, Michelle. That's awesome. So you guys that are tuned in live right now, I do want to hear, since we started this 2 weeks ago, have you found yourself thinking more about the word integrity? Or is there anything that shows up for you when you think about what integrity means to you? Maybe just in this moment, or what's come up over the last couple of weeks. And so just to kind of refresh anybody that's coming in new to this, if you go back 2 weeks ago, the journey started with interestingly enough, a kind of a thought-provoking conversation I had with a gentleman named William, who was my Uber driver. So totally random. And it led us to this discussion about integrity. And integrity is rooted in the Latin word integras. And that Latin word means wholeness and completeness. And that root word also gave us the word integrate. So integrity and integrate are actually very closely related words. And integrate is about harmoniously combining diverse elements. And so integrity is about being true to one's values, principles, your moral characters, and our actions have to reflect our beliefs, right? They have to echo what our beliefs are to really truly have integrity. And so, as I mentioned, the more questions we can ask, the better off we're going to be, the more clarity we're going to have. And so, what are your actions? Be honest with yourself. What are your actions saying about you? Are you taking enough action, right, to really truly live into what your values are? Are you pushing up against your comfort zone to make sure that you are always leaning into those values and principles and what is important to you? So ask yourself those questions. It's about aligning what we say and what we do. And we might think, okay, that's great because people are going to look at us and say, okay, yep, that person really has a lot of integrity. But really the true value here is building that internal trust and self-confidence. And then it also very much simplifies our decision-making processes because we reduce the friction, right? When we're going against our values, there's friction there. And those are the most difficult decisions that we make because we're not leaning into our values. But if we can say every time, here's what's important to me, here's what my purpose is, here's what my values are. If it aligns with this, yes. If not, no. That's pretty easy, right? That makes it a lot easier. So to focus and have integrity, we have to focus then on integration. And again, to integrate is to harmoniously align our actions to our values and create you and your company's true identity. So that unity, that alignment leads to a sense of wholeness, fulfillment, and really that's essential for long-term success. Now, we began kind of to outline those practical steps. As I said last week, we kind of got started on that. But this week, I want to just go through them in a little bit more depth. And today, here's the other point that I want to make for everybody. This is not just to listen and learn. It's not just an intellectual exercise, but really my hope is that these practical steps are a call to action, that you're going to integrate these steps into your daily business operations. So from that place, if you guys are ready here, I'm going to share I've combined them down to 7. I think there was 9 last time, but I was able to integrate 2 of those. So we only have 7 of these practical steps that we have to take. So number 1 is we have to start with defining our core values, right? If you've not taken the steps to put language to your core values, integrity will be a constant guessing game, right? How can you align your actions to your beliefs if you don't clearly understand what they are? So fundamental number 2 in the book is about clarifying your reason. And in the book, that fundamental just gives you a roadmap to do that. So definitely check this out if you haven't yet, and go into that. And in the book, we also talk about adding the step of defining how you can plan to live in those values. So I think that's number 1, just thinking about defining those core values. And I said, making this a daily part of your daily routine. This doesn't have to take a whole lot. Just like, okay, what is my core value? Am I really living that? What does that actually mean? And just asking yourself that every day really quickly like that, and go, yep. Right. And so I can do that very quickly. The second thing is we need to have regular self-reflection. We need to set aside time for that evaluation of, are we aligned with our values? Am I actually acting every day in alignment with my values? I think I've told this story before, but I was feeling out of sorts a couple months ago. Just like I wasn't getting anywhere, and I felt kind of in a rut, and I felt stuck. And it took a moment to say, you know what, I haven't really sat down and really reflected on what my values are. And so most people would just go, okay, I'm in a rut, I got to grind harder. But if anybody's ever been actually stuck with their car, actually stuck in like sand or snow or whatever, the idea is not to just push on the accelerator harder. That's just going to get you more stuck. Right. And so we do that in our businesses, though. We just try to grind harder and work our way through it. And so if we stop and reflect, now we're kind of rocking the car back and forth, so to speak. And I realized that I was just acting outside of my core values. Right. And so that gave me the information that I needed to make a course correction to that. So hang tight 1 second. Have a great day, buddy. Oh, love you. High five, hugs. All right. Have a good day. Move off to school there. All right. So that was number 2. Number 3, we need to do a value alignment check. And this is much more simple than it sounds. Basically, every time you're faced with an important decision, ask yourself if they align with your core values. Just that quick, does this align with my core values? If I say yes to this, does this align with my core values? Right. And if it doesn't, then just reconsider. Is there a better way to do this? Should I? Right. And that simplicity of decision making, it's going to do 2 things for you. A, it's going to make sure that you are working from integrity and that you feel that and you feel that fulfillment. And B, like I said, it's that simplicity. It makes the decision making process easier. So what I would say is just have some sort of a trigger or reminder, make that part of your decision making process to just scroll through your values quickly as you are making those hard decisions, and do that first before you actually say yes or no to something, right? And that you could even use that as a great way to not say yes to everything, because a lot of times somebody asks us something and then we just say yes because we feel like that's the people pleasing thing to do. That's the good person thing to do. But if you go, you know what, I need to check in on this. I need to just do a quick value alignment check. Right. And then it's about aligning to your values, not making some statement whether that person that's asking you is right or wrong or good or bad. Right. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4, we need to have transparency in our communication. And really it's just think about fostering open, honest communication with your team, with your customers, with your mastermind groups, with everybody around you. Yeah. If your whole focus is how you can kind of take advantage or get one over on somebody, right? How do I milk more money out of my customers? How do I get my team to work without me giving them anything in return? That's that scarcity mentality, and it's not going to get you very far. It's going to get you exactly that, scarcity. It's going to get you plenty of scarcity when you have that kind of a mindset. And that's where, your transparency goes away, because you're hiding something, right? You're trying to pull the rug over on somebody's eyes. So stop worrying so much about making a buck. And instead, if you figure out how to delight and serve, the bucks will follow. Right. And that's, I think, a huge thing. I think people think too much about their businesses as, how can I get the upper hand? But if you started thinking about it, how can I delight and serve? Guess what? The upper hand will be yours, because there is no upper hand. The rising tide does lift all boats. All right. And then, so number 5, accountability measures. We need to have that accountability. You need to implement a system to hold yourself and your team accountable for any corrections that need to be made when we're, living outside of our values. So part of my monthly check-in process is to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how myself and our success group as a business, how are we operating based on our core values? And so just that moment, and again, there's 5 core values. I go through them really quick, scale of 1 to 10. And the real magic happens when we ask the second question, right? If it's not a 10, what could be done to make it a 10 next month, right? So it's really a recipe for continued improvement. And it's not about it. It's not a judgment thing, right? If I end up with a 5, it's like going back to the affirmations and what we talked about with the self-talk, and like Michelle said, getting rid of the ugly talk, right? It's not about that. It's about going, okay, there's an opportunity for me to grow and learn. All right. And then number 6, mentorships and coaching. We talked a lot about masterminds already, so I'm not going to go too deep into this. But the reality is having somebody else that can help you see other perspectives is so important, right? It's that old adage of you can't see the forest for the trees. Mentors, coaches, mastermind groups, they can see the forest because their face is not buried up against that tree. So as Becky mentioned, just ask anybody here in the Fab Four about MOS or whatever it is. We're going to start a new cohort soon. So that's why I bring up MOS, but whatever that is for you, find somebody that can help you with different perspectives. And then number 7 here to wrap this up, celebrate the successes, celebrate the instances where your team demonstrates that they've shown alignment with integrity and alignment with your core values. Celebrate it when you do that, right? Those of us that are parents here, we know that we can easily fall into the trap of looking for the problems, right? We're going to catch our kids in the act of doing something wrong so we can discipline them and teach them a lesson, right? But what if you were spending more of your effort trying to find ways to celebrate, right? Catch them in the act of good and celebrate that, right? If we spent more of that time doing that, things will change a lot quicker than the discipline side. Not to say that, we don't need to look out for that, right? If there's a problem that we need to correct it. But if we focused more on the successes, things are going to happen much quicker, right? And so the same thing happens for us internally, for our team. Our brains want more of that dopamine hit they get from the celebration. So our internal voice is going to get creative and find more ways to integrate our values if it knows that this celebration is coming, right? So those are the 7 steps. I'll just read through them one more time, and then we can come back in and discuss it for a couple minutes and close it out today. So number 1, define core values. Number 2, regular self-reflection. Number 3, value alignment check. Number 4, transparency and communication. Number 5, accountability measures. 6, mentorship and coaching. And number 7, celebrate successes. So one last thing before I bring the Fab Four back in here is, if you are stuck with this or anything else, feel free to reach out to me directly. You don't have to jump in the comments. You don't have to make this public declaration. Just contact me directly. I'll see if I can put the banner up here real quick. Consultaaron.com is an easy way. My job and really what we're all here, why integrating with Becky and Kylene and Tanya, is we just want to inspire you, right? ICE, inspire, collaborate, and encourage, right? We just want to help you. We just want to support you. So we want to make sure that you're falling in love with your business. But if you need that, just, private help real quick, just hit consultaaron.com, and we're all here to support you. So let me bring the Fab Four back in here real quickly. Hitting buttons. There we go. So what do you guys think about that? What are some of the thoughts that you had after my uncommon mindset there?
Okay, I can start. So I just felt like, everything that you kind of talked about, it just brought in the importance of the affirmations, the importance of intention and clarity of what's meaningful for you. And then it also brought in the importance of the Masters of Success group. All of that kind of came in together when you take the time to work on your values and what's important to you.
Yeah.
and you're in alignment, all these other things are just your dreams start happening and coming true for you. And so the tools of the Masters of Success, the tools of affirmations, the tool of celebrating your wins and successes along the way are all there to help you get to your dreams. So I don't know, for whatever reason in my brain, I was like, oh, this connects to here, this connects to here, and it all just came together. So I really enjoyed what you shared today.
Yeah, that is interesting because we kind of work on our segments, separate from each other. Obviously, we're all in the similar mentality and mindset of what we're trying to do here. And so I think it is interesting that they all integrate together. There's that word, integrate, right? So, Becky, what about you?
I agree with everything, for what Kylene said as far as how it all comes together. The masterminds, the affirmations, I just can't stress that enough, that it is all going to bring it together when you need it. So.
Yeah. Nice. And Tanya, what share, and then maybe you can take us into the ice of this segment so we can wrap it up here as well.
Sure. For me, it's using what's in your toolbox. You have all these amazing tools. Most of them are of zero cost, just your time. And so dig in that toolbox and figure out what's going to help to move you forward. Erin's book, and then also ICE and choose. ICE stands for Inspire, Collaborate, and Encourage. Those things are all free, and your life gets infinitely better when you are actively trying to do those things, the affirmations and things like that. And choose what you need as often as you need it. There's tools available at the web store, and that's at the osg.link/ICE. And I will be adding those mini choose boards on today. And I just love it because it's a daily reminder. I have it at my desk. I can have it here, and I can change it if I need it. But if I get stuck, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what I was focusing on today. And then the other thing I wanted to mention that was just very timely is I had a notification on my phone for a podcast that I listened to. It's called The Mindset Mentor. His one for today is listen to this every day, affirmations for success. So I highly recommend that if you want to go check out that podcast. It's excellent.
Awesome. All right. Well, so Tanya, are we going to make our choice today? Does everybody have their choose word?
Yeah. I am choosing embrace because as of tomorrow at noon, I'm heading to Becky's house for several days. And then on Monday, I'm embracing going off on my own to Las Vegas to meet up with my TikTok friends, which sounds so dangerous, but it's not.
You're so young and hip, Tanya. All right. What's everybody else's choose word? Becky, I see you've got yours handy there.
I can't figure out where I'm at here. My choose word for today or this week is abundance, and just feeling the abundance of everything that I have and that I'm grateful for.
Awesome. Kylene?
I like it. Well, my choose board's over there. I didn't grab it, but it's like within a foot of me. But anyway, it's health. That's what I'm choosing. I just find when I'm feeling good internally, all these other things just happen a lot easier, less of that resistance happening. So that's what I'm choosing this week. How about you, Erin?
Well, Michelle's enjoy. I'm going to go with that being her choose word, but if not, she can change it. But spending the day with my son as we travel to the dentist. For me, it is productivity. Halloween was awesome, but I took my eye off of some things, which is great. That's fine. That's the joy of being a small business owner, is I was able to go to the store with my son and work on all of his crazy stuff that he had outside to scare all the kids. So, so that's it. All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much. I think let's go ahead and wrap it up here. Kylene, anything you'd like to share to take us out?
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone for joining us. If you guys have any feedback, or if there's anything that you want to learn about or you want to discuss here, please reach out to any of us. We are open to that. You know, we're in our 6th week. Is this 6 or 5? 6 weeks. And so obviously with each week we can continue to learn and adapt and adjust. So if there's specific things you guys want to share with us and how we can improve and grow, please reach out to us.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys. Have a great rest of your Wednesday, and we'll see you all back here next week. Great job, Fab 4. High fives, everybody. Yes. Bye.
Bye.